Welcome to the Resilience Series. I'm Stephanie Weaver, the author of the Migraine Relief Plan and the upcoming Migraine Relief Plan Cookbook. And for that project, I'm interviewing a variety of people on the topic of resilience. My guest today is Paula Dumas. Paula is the founder and editor-in-chief of migraineagain.com, co-host and producer of the Migraine World Summit, and leader of the Daily Migraine. She leads the largest independent website, social community, and online event for people with migraine worldwide. Welcome, Paula.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. It's great to be here.
It's wonderful to see you. Let's start with your personal history with migraine disease. Tell us your story.
Well, my story started, I thought it started at age 23 with a bike accident. And I had a nasty concussion, which then started bringing on these, terrible headaches. And actually, within about a year, they were diagnosed properly as migraine. And what I didn't realize was that the story actually began when I was 11, when I was having what were undiagnosed abdominal migraine attacks. But that proceeded from kind of 11 to 23 with all kinds of terrible GI symptoms and no headache. And so at 23, as I began with episodic migraine, those kind of progressed into more frequent episodic and then chronic, probably by about the time I was 30. And then I struggled and juggled with chronic migraine from about age 30, really through my 30s and 40s, severely, and into my early 50s. And it's been really disabling for me. I added up the number of days that I lost to migraine, and it was over a decade worth of days. And so it had a profound effect on my family, on my career, on my sense of self. And that's why I do what I do.
Well, I'm sorry for that, and I thank you for turning that into what you've turned it into. So, what prompted you to start getting involved with advocacy and migraine communication?
As I said, I was around 50, and I sat back and I looked at my life and thought, I need to do something that's going to make a difference. And usually you look at the things that have marked your life as you get to that point in your life. And look at things that have marked your life and realize that you're in a position to help other people whose pain you can relate to. And that's kind of how we arrived at migraine. It was really my husband's idea. He gets the credit. Where he said, let's just do something for migraine. Let's combine our skill set. And he is very good at starting things up. He started a few different companies. He's also very good at the technology end of things and operations and incorporation, all those kinds of wonderful skill sets. And so we decided to start a website, having no idea what it would turn into. And we wanted to make it purpose-driven and help as many people as we possibly could, and then donate a portion of the proceeds back to research and awareness causes and nonprofits, which is the model that we set up. And then we wanted to employ people who had migraine, and only people who had migraine and other chronic health issues, but specifically migraine and cluster. And that's what we've been able to do. So it's been a really rewarding ride.
That's great. And so that's migraineagain.com is the website she's talking about. So, what is it about patient communities that you think is particularly powerful?
I think people get better together. And so if you've ever been in the mode of trying to lose weight, it can be really difficult when you do it by yourself. But when you get an accountability partner, or when you join a Weight Watchers group or a Noom group, you suddenly realize that you're not the only one in this boat. And while each person has their sort of unique struggles or cravings or challenges, um, everybody's on a similar journey together. And with that kind of accountability and support and encouragement, we can get healthier together. And I think the same thing is true for migraine. Migraine is a very isolating disease, especially as you move into the chronic space where, my doctor said, I don't know anybody who is as severe as you. Well, I was 25 out of 30 days a month. It's not a big club. Didn't feel like a big club until I got online. And the migraine community lives online because it's an invisible illness. You don't tend to know other people. People don't talk about it at parties or at work. And so once I got online, I realized there are all these people who are starving to connect with each other, learn from each other, and get healthier together. And if we can find a way to nurture that and get them access to world leading experts and evidence based information, separate the truth from the snake oil salesman, I think people could get better. And that is what we are seeing is people are getting healthier, even if they don't move their numbers. Almost everybody reduces their frequency and intensity. They're able to cope much better because they're not in it alone.
That's great. One of the things that you're really passionate about is patient education. So tell us about that and about the Migraine World Summit in case people aren't familiar with the summit, which is coming up very soon. So people can sign up for it and watch it for free, which is awesome.
It is. We are very excited about the sixth annual Migraine World Summit, which starts March 17th through 25th. And is on each year. It premieres in March or April, and then it's available on demand year round. So even if somebody's watching this much later, they can still get access to it. It'll be free during that period, and then it will be available on demand thereafter. So the Migraine World Summit is a beautiful model that was created by Carl Cincinnato, my mate from Australia. And he is also a fellow migraine warrior, has survived chronic migraine and wanted to give something back and created the Migraine World Summit, which I now co-produce. And Migraine World Summit brings together over 30 world leading experts each year who we interview in depth and helps bring those insights to people anywhere around the world with an internet connection. It's a beautiful thing. And we have interviewed experts from over a dozen different countries, oftentimes location shoots. I love those. And we bring together a cast of experts, medical experts, as well as other insightful authors and people who have specific expertise in a variety of areas, and even celebrities. And so this year we are going to be including over 30 different experts, a few who have appeared before, and many new people with new topics. And we develop the topics based on feedback that we get from the community. We ask people, what do you need to learn about? What do you need more information on? And so by its very nature, it's the things that are the most important questions and the things where there is a gap of information that's available and accessible to people who desperately need it.
That's fantastic. And I know I'm able to go to the American Headache Society when it's live, have been a few times. And that is more, it's intended primarily for practitioners. So neurologists are the primary audience there. So it's tough as a somewhat lay person. I have a master's of public health, but it's tough to go and try to absorb that information and understand it and really figure out how to use that in my life. Whereas the summit is intended for patients. It's intended for people, regular people. And so one of the things I love is that every year you've updated the latest things that might be available that people don't know about. And one of the challenges, and especially in the US, is that we have very few headache specialists, certified headache specialists. So, you're just doing such a great job of bringing that information. And it's something you can also, those of you who don't have a headache specialist and are working with like a primary care physician, you can share that link with them and see if they can, access that information as well, because it's a way to educate your doctors who are part of your care team.
That's right. And most people don't realize that most physicians don't get any training in headache medicine in med school. And they are relatively naive. I mean, you and I probably, in the work that we've done, have learned more about migraine and headache disorders than your average general practitioner or many neurologists, in fact. And I go to all the medical conferences as well, the American Headache Society, International Headache Society, the American Academy of Neurology, in various conferences that are happening worldwide. And I am always stunned to discover how few specialists we really have I used to live in Atlanta, and a city of about 6 million people. And we only had one board certified headache specialist for that many people, and he only saw children. And it was just astounding to me. There's another one who started up since then, but with that kind of limited access, I had to fly to Chicago and New York and Beijing to see different specialists, to Los Angeles to see different people who might be able to help me. And most people do not have that option. So it's really cool to be able to bring those experts into people's living room where they can watch in their pajamas and learn. And you're right, they can share those insights. We publish the transcripts. They can share those with their doctor, so their doctor gets access to it as well.
Yeah. And so for those of you, what I tend to do every year is just buy the pass so I can just download the transcripts, because I don't try to have too much screen time during the day, and so it can be fatiguing to watch. The interviews are fantastic, but like if you plan on, oh, I'm going to watch 5 hours of interviews, oftentimes that doesn't happen. But I'll download the transcript and I'll just read those, and then I have that information available on my computer if I need to look something up. So that's a great thing, and a great resource that you're providing. So let's move into the last two questions. How do you define resilience, Paula?
I define resilience as the ability to bounce back in the face of adversity. And adversity is something that some of us learn when we're kids, and others don't have much adversity until later in life. The earlier you learn it, the earlier you develop the muscles, if you will, to bounce back. So it's kind of like when life throws you curveballs, you can duck, but you can't duck when you get multiple curveballs. And this year has been a year like no other, where every person on the planet is dealing with the same curveball, being COVID. And I think it's really tested our ability to be resilient, to manage stress and external factors that are really difficult that we cannot control.
Yeah, I think that's really true, and it's certainly something that I've seen in these interviews. People talking about that bouncing back or that flexibility is something that I'm hearing a lot. So I think anything we can do to develop that is great. So my last question for you is, tell us about your self-care resilience strategies. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I learned that self-care is not selfish. And I learned that again from some of our Migraine World Summit experts. Don Buse famously said it at one of our big events. And, I think that for many, many years, I didn't take care of myself. I took care of everybody else in my universe, meaning my husband, my kids, the people who worked for me, my friends, my mother, or my siblings. I was taking care of everybody else, but I wasn't taking care of me. And so I realized that the way to stay resilient and the way to stay healthy is to focus on just a few sort of daily habits. For me, some of those daily self-care habits are things like laughing daily, um, and trying to express myself or express gratitude on a daily basis. I'm now in the habit of writing it down. And then investing or giving something daily to other people. We've got to get outside of ourselves. And that's really one way in which advocacy comes in. So for me, I do things like practically, I keep a gratitude journal and I write things down, and try to tell people that I'm grateful for them on a regular basis. I pray every day, and I pray for other people who I know are struggling with different things. Sometimes strangers and people I meet online. I'll pray for random people, but of course, the people who are close to me get a disproportionate amount of my prayer time, and express gratitude in that. I try to laugh daily, and Twitter is full of funny things that make me laugh, as well as various television programs and people. There are certain people in my life who make me laugh more than others. And more recently, I'm getting into painting, And I have found that that is a very meditative activity for me. So when I'm painting, I have to really focus carefully on my brush strokes, on color, on mixing color, and it just kind of clears my mind and takes me out of the worries of the day. So those things are helpful for me, and I'm now creating time in my day to practice them.
That's a fantastic answer. Thank you. Paula, thank you again for being here today and sharing your knowledge with us. Please check out migraineworldsummit.com and sign up for your free access pass for 2021 as it's launching soon. And visit migraineagain.com to see all the amazing resources Paula and her team have created. And now you'll know the person behind that and know that everyone who works there is someone with migraine disease, and that just makes it all the cooler. Check out other episodes of the Resilience series on Facebook Watch, IGTV, and YouTube, and follow me at SWeaverMPH on social media to learn more about my upcoming book, The Migraine Relief Plan Cookbook, which is due out in spring 2022 from Surrey Books. Thanks for watching.